Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network. Sorry about that. Had to do a quick restroom break here. Give you a quick rundown of the race information here. So you see we're at Loudon. It's a 1 mile track. Current track temps 102. Weather, it's 75 degrees out. 49% meaning partly cloudy, 3 mile per hour wind. They do get 75% fuel, 100 laps, 100 miles, 4 sets of tires. They actually get 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered. So I don't know why that one's there. There we go. And that's that. Good old New Hampshire. That awesome mile track of New Hampshire.
That's New Hampshire Motor Speedway tonight, Brian.
There he is.
Yep.
I heard the ding come through.
Oh, you heard it this time. There you go. Ah! So, interesting. I see, said the blind man on the disconnected telephone pole. Aha! Oh, wonder! Dale Rapp is in the house.
Yes, he is.
Look at that. Driving the old 52 car. Look at that, too. Look at that. Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? Wonder. Would you wonder, look at it? Anyway, that's an old inside joke. Hopefully, whenever he goes back and hears the beginning of this broadcast, he'll get a kick out of that. New Hampshire. Okay, so the Cup Series, I want to say without looking at anything, been coming here since 1992. One of the most famous races here was when NASCAR went to the restrictor plate. After Adam Petty died, it was either before or I think it was after Ernie Irvin, Ernie Irwin Jr. Died, is when they went to the restrictor plate here, and then Adam died. But anyway, Jeff Burton won a race here, leading every single lap here. Can you believe that? Restrictor plates you couldn't pass at a mile track with a flat mile track with restrictor plates. It was a very snooze fest of a race, I might add. But yes, New Hampshire, it's very comparable to the Milwaukee Mile. We've already discussed that in previous broadcasts about how the Milwaukee Mile very, very, very related to New Hampshire, vice versa. Milwaukee's older than New Hampshire, I do believe. Like I said, without having to harpen back and look back at anything. I do know IndyCar Series has been here. Formula Fords or like Formula Fords race here on the road course version. Rallycross has been here, Brian. So many different things. Like I said, Indy cars have been here. They used to race here so many years ago. They were real exciting races. I miss the old, New Hampshire, Richmond, well, I don't want to say I miss Dover. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Those old, cool IndyCar races. You have the starting grid, Brian.
Yep. Anyway, starting P1 would be Brandon Moore. P2 would be Zach Deuscher. P3 would be Jason Pearson. P4 would be Skylar Sixton. P5 would be Philip Bridgman. P6 would be Justin Steves. P7 would be Tyler Myers. P8 would be Chris Campbell. P9 would be James Hudson. P10 would be Dale Rapp. P11 would be Joe Stipe. P12 would be Robert Amaral. P13 would be Anthony Line. P14 would be Pete Woodrum. P15 Bradford. P16 Hunt Saker. And P17 Michael Allen.
Operation Devour.
Right?
So only 100 laps here. That's 100 miles for anyone that can't compute that distance. Normally, Brian, you set them up for just over 100 laps here, but we're doing 100, short and sweet. It should be, at least, if these Cup Series drivers can keep it green. We do know, at least from my personal viewing experience here in New Hampshire with the Gen 7 Cup car, it's such a tricky track because of how long you either have to back up the corner, let it roll through the corner, and you don't want any tire spin, right? So you really have to be very disciplined in when the car is actually straight to get back into the throttle here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Brandon Moore, Zach, JP, and Skyler.
70 to 75 laps on fuel, 30 to 50 laps on tires, depending on how hard you drive. Pace car is off, Brian, and away we go here.
Yep. You see a good start by Brandon Moore. The only, you see there, JP under Brandon early on, getting underneath.
3 wide, turn 1, lap 1.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, man.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Now Brandon trying to retake the lead after qualifying on the pole, trying to slide up in there. He's going to get the traction out of turn number 4. He will lead the first lap of the race.
All about rhythm here. The rhythm.
It is such a rhythmic track.
I think it's a great track.
And Cup.
Lap 3 complete here. Brandon Moore is still up front, setting the pace. Boy, Lucas, if you don't get out from underneath my legs.
Zach Deuscher back in the B&R Cup Series and all over the back of Brandon Moore. He's got Skyler Sixton all over the back of him. So top 3 trying to break away. Philip Bridgman in 4th. He's got JP Big Dog all over the back of him, trying to see what he can sniff. Tyler Myers in 6th position. Jimmy Hudson in 7th position. Justin Steves 8th, and Joe Stipe 9th. Christopher Campbell will round out the top 10 at the moment, with Dale Rapp trying to be under the attack for him, but
nice to
top
see you
11
there,
separated.
Yes. Oh,
3.5.
Yeah.
Who is Tim Cup?
Paul Lawson.
Oh, hey, Paul.
5 laps in the books. You see here, for the most part, Will, everybody pretty much spaced out.
Matthew Hunsaker and Michael Allen was not able to grid, Brian. Unfortunate.
That is. But Bradford served his penalty, and now he's back out there, so... 6 laps in the books. I heard a lot of the cars were up and down. So, tight, loose, happy medium like that. Oh!
Caution here.
Yeah, there it is. Let's see what happened. Just a little loose off the turn there. First caution will come out for all wonder.
Yeah, and Dell was, like I said, he was just riding back there. He was in 11th place. He was snipping inside the top 10, but wasn't like he was just hanging around at the moment. And it just looks like the car just gets away from him. Like I said, here at New Hampshire, these Gen 7 cars, it's a very, very, very tricky track here. So I'm surprised we didn't really have a caution earlier on. It took us, 6, 7 laps. 6 laps to get our first caution. I was almost expecting maybe to see one before lap 5, to be honest, Brian, but hey, we got to lap 6. So just because of how finicky these cars can be here is why I was saying maybe, seeing a caution before lap 5, because of how many laps it actually takes to get heat built up into these low profile sidewall tires. Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah. We end up hearing ourselves twice. So I see here
Nice.
Bridgman, Robert, Dale, and Lane all pitted here. So all right. So they will come back to green this time. Will.
That's fantastic, Brian.
Right? The pace laps here are a little short, so and that's what I like. I don't like pacing around forever under caution and.
Come on, McDonald. What you do with these chicken nuggets? Try to burn them?
So Brandon Moore's going to lead him back to green here. With Zach on the outside, Skyler behind B, and JP on the outside behind Zach.
Green flag.
Pretty even Steven start up here in the front.
Really is. Coming out of turn number 2, they are still side by side coming down the back straightaway, Brian. Drag racing at turn 3. Brandon Moore going to get it, though.
That he is. Oh,
That was some really hard racing. Oh, JP compromised himself coming out of turn number 2. Skyler gets away from himself there. Oh, that's not Skyler. Sorry, Skyler. That's Bradford.
Yep.
Oh, hey, we got a Twitch bot. Cheap viewers on StreamBot.
I see that.
Interesting. Man, we can't get away from these bots, no matter where we go. They're everywhere.
Yep. Until I go like this.
Like I said, until you get some heat built up in these tires, these cars will definitely be a handful. Even when we do get heat built up in these tires, they're still going to be a handful. So we see JP struggling here in this second stint here, even though the first stint wasn't really all that long. Super short run we had there. 6 laps before the first caution was brought out of this evening. And, man, we're just sliding around here. Like I said, JP had a moment. Bradford had a moment. Everybody just about going to have a moment or two. Deutscher still in second place. Sigston still in third. So Hudson moving up into fourth. Pearson moving down a few positions into ninth after regrouping his slide there. So,
Oh yeah. You see Justice Steve's under attack in there with Chris. To get to the inside of Chris. Chris is probably just going to let him go. But Chris gets that good pull out on him there going into turns 3 and 4. So JP will settle in behind the 24 of Justin. That's a better view. I believe Brandon is setting the pace for sure.
well, Brandon has opened up the gap to about a second over Deuscher in second position. Sigston now falling about a second and a half back. He was right there with Deuscher, but now just ailing a little bit back now. We are almost 10 laps into this run now, Brian, so...
That we are. We see there's Skylar's running that middle to high lane as everybody else is kind of sort of running that low lane. So it just really all depends. Oh, he's got a little bit too high out there.
Got up out of the groove, up in almost the marbles, if there is any laid down at this moment. I almost don't think there's enough rubber laid down yet.
Nope. You saw there a little slip up from Skylar there, got a little bit loose. But a good save by him, but now being under attack by Hudson.
What a line Skylar is choosing. What a That's not Skylar. That is... How many more times have I got to do that? That's Joe. Okay. I'm gonna call everybody Skylar before this race is over, Brian.
Right?
I am. I just thought it was him though, because it was a very similar line that he was taking earlier. Then the camera cuts back here to Joe, so basically we're almost running the same line, Joe and Skylar. They must know something we don't.
Right. That's what I'm trying to see here. Because Joe got himself a good line. But if you know as well, it's just like that. Joe did get a little bit loose there. Now Campbell's going to capitalize on that by jumping to the outside. But the problem is you don't want... Oh, brake lock up by Joe.
Great for JP to avoid that. He had to cut down the track there. You saw it on the onboard, so good avoidance.
Joe just needs to ease it on down, hit your marks. You don't want too much brake lock up. It's going to hurt the tires. And just be brutal in the longer run. If you see there, you're on board with JP, it's throttle management. That's what it's going to take for these cars with kind of how loosey-goosey they are. So a lot of roll the turns and
with the independent rear suspensions, Brian, you have a transaxle. It's all the drive shaft, transmission, everything. It's all connected to the separate independent rear suspension to the rear of the car. So Therefore, you may get back to the throttle, but the wheel slippage is going to be extremely massive at times, depending on where and how about you will get how you ease into the throttle, right? Or if you just kind of jerk that pedal back down to the floor. It's going to be really swirly, loosey-goosey, but if you ease back into it, that will hopefully not concentrate so much wheel slippage. Oh, intense battle. Justin Steves, the battle of the JS is going at it. Where's Jaden Sanchez when you need it?
Right.
Well, I mean, we don't necessarily. Well, I mean, it would be nice, I guess, to have Jaden in the race. But you know what I mean. JS. You know, we need a couple of more initial compiers. That's not a word. Anyway.
"25 laps in."
I tell you, the Cowboys' schedule this year. Okay, I guess you had a lag spurt.
Probably. Wouldn't doubt it.
Eddie Media. Man, these guys just popping out of the woodwork.
Quickly, tell me what you got.
Oh, man. Is that teammate on teammate crime? I don't think so, no.
No.
That's Woodrum and Amaral. Well, yes, Kyle. I mean, I'm unfortunately a closet Cowboys fan. I know that sounds weird to say, but hopefully we all understand why I say it. Oh, man, Robert. Truly, hopefully that's not malice or ill intent or just... I don't think so out of Robert. I think Robert just got crossed up going into 3, and unfortunately Pete was just there. Man. Officer says Robert got into turn 3. Excellent, man. Unless there's something maybe in the prior weeks or something that we might have missed, or you don't normally see stuff like that out of Robert. You really don't. Like I said, I don't think that was on purpose at all. I just really think maybe Robert just got in there a bit too good for himself and just maybe outbraked himself. I've known Robert for years, and unless he gets extremely upset or something, which it's very rare for him to do, he might drive somebody, Kansas somebody into the wall like that. But I don't think that was on purpose at all. Man, oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Because Robert don't ever do that. But Justin Steve stays out here. So now we remember here, Will. Justin's going to be on a whole different strat than these guys, so... Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Kyle.
I mean, me being a big...
But, you know, it happens.
Me being a big Mississippi State fan, I was not a big fan of them drafting Dak Prescott because I'm like, man, they got the best injury-prone quarterbacks they could have ever drafted. Like, it's basically RG3 2.0, right? Another great Even Stevens restart. No pun intended to Justin. Brandon really able to wrap around the outside and take the lead away, though, but that could also contribute to fresh tires as well, Brian.
Yes. By being on old tires, this is what's going to happen. Trying a whole different strategy compared to these guys, so you see Justin's gonna ride out that low lane there, let everybody go by.
Apparently Matthew and Michael in the garage must be passing each other in the garage area because on the scoring pylon, they keep moving over each other.
Right?
Great battles, though. Good battling here at New Hampshire this evening. It's a good driver's track. Oh, Dale overdrove turn one. Ran a bit wide there. JP loose again out of turn number 2.
Joe Stipe, P9. Good run so far. But Brandon Moore still has this race under control. But ain't going away ever so far. He's got a Ford sniffing up that back.
Yeah, he's got Deutscher all over the back of him, almost like a bad rash. Hudson still holding strong, though. Impressive run of the evening for James there in third position.
Yeah, he put a lot of practice in this week.
Currently in the top 5 in the podium positions.
But Brandon Moore is still hanging strong there. Very consistent. Brandon and Zach are kind of running the same exact line. So the only different line change that I see is maybe 3 and 4. But otherwise, 1 and 2, they're about spot on even. So
yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same line. I do have to agree with you on that. 3 and 4 is a bit different, but 1 and 2 is almost spot on identical. The exit of turn 4 is almost identical.
oh. You see JP here.
You almost have to think.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Brian.
No.
You almost have to think, how much will that hinder your performance trying to advance even more slightly onto the back of a fellow competitor when you're running exactly the same, almost exactly the same lane or line as them at a flat track such as New Hampshire as we are here this evening?
From what I see, there might be maybe a very tiny slight bank. Not much.
Yeah, I believe there's 6 degrees of banking here.
I think so.
Without, like I said earlier, without having to Google it.
you gonna come sit under the desk? This old dog. He's always interested by looking out the window. You see there Joe up there in the marbles, Will, as Wonder gets on by Joe. Oh, what a bobble from Wonder, though.
Uh-uh.
Now that he's clear. He will fall in behind Campbell.
Everything falling.
So far, pretty single file for the most part.
Yeah, we have a great battle back here for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. A little bit 10th. And even back there to Bradford, 11th. So 6th on back to 11th. Deutscher still a half a second back from Moore. Skyler got back around Jimmy for 3rd position, so Jimmy fell back to 5th. Jimmy cracked corn, and I don't care. Oh, shouldn't say that. My apologies. Tyler Myers in 4th position. So,
anyway,
Skyler just... Yep. What? Yes? Go ahead.
And I do believe next week we are on the old dirt surface.
Oh, no. Who picked that? Never mind.
Oh, with a bunny hop way back there of Anthony Lyons, so...
Joe got up in the wall.
Yeah, he did. He made some little contact up there. But...
Needs to... Oh, my goodness. That was AB. No, it wasn't. That was Anthony. Anthony Lane. We'll get a pronunciation later on that one. My apologies, Anthony. So...
Right.
I tell you, what a save, though. That was a wicked save by Anthony in that 81 machine. 44.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, beat me to it. 44 laps in the books. Working lap 45. Moore, Deutscher all over the back of Moore still. Sixton, Myers, Hudson. That is the top 5 as this intense battle raging on for 6th and 7th position. Jason Pearson trying to get by, I'll think of his name later, Joe Stipe. Oh, man. 3-0. Oh, no. Oh, man.
Dodge out. All right, buddy, you had a couple laps by yourself there. How'd it feel?
I think Joe got crossed up here. Gonna have to rewind that a little bit further back because it started... oh, man. It started out at turn number 2. Joe gets up in the wall again, or near abouts. He gets up in the marbles, out of the groove, coming through 1 and 2. And that transition, and... Oh, JP thought he was clear, I think. I'm more than sure of that. And then they went mudding, off-roading, and Wonder nowhere to go whenever he gets to him, just finishes him off, really. Gets him back going straight, and then finishes him off. Oh, man. Purely racing incident there, because where are you going to go whenever a car shoots back like just kind of off-road excursion, and then yes, exactly. I mean, man, I hope no one gets penalized for all that, because it's just racing deal right there. Hard racing. Jason,
I agree.
JP was just trying to get back in line, or maybe get a good run on Joe again, and misjudged it, got into Joe, and then they went mudding, like I said, off-road excursion. They went surfing safari, and back into the racing traffic come Joe. And like I said, nowhere for Wonder to go. Feel sorry. Hopefully Wonder don't have too much damage. No quick repairs here in the B&R Cup Series, whether it's on Thursday or Saturday nights of asking. So, goodness gracious, man! This race only third caution of asking, but man, this race, Brian, has been very chaotic.
Yes, it has. It's been very
Who knew a 100 lap, basically kind of sprint race here at New Hampshire would be kind of chaotic? I caught an SRU race last season, and my goodness, it was a slobber knocker. It was filled with. It was basically the same thing almost. It had so much excitement. New Hampshire, man, you just never know what you're going to get from the Magic Mile.
right. That's what I'm saying. But at least they're getting longer runs in before
Yeah,
receiving their their caution
that
that
that one we had about 20 laps in, right? 20. I want to say 20 laps.
uh
It felt like 25. It might have been a little bit more than that. I don't think it was. Green flag back out in the air. Oh, it was only 15.
next time by they will be halfway.
You can see Zach Deuscher trying to get the outside lane momentum working, coming in through 1 and 2, side by side with Brandon Moore. You've got Tyler Myers and Sixton going at it for third position. Brandon Moore going to try a slider, can't quite get up there. Yes, he can. He can. Clears Deuscher coming off of turn number 4. Sixton clears Myers.
Tyler up there in the marbles.
It looks like another predicament here with the Gen 7 car at New Hampshire and other tracks similar, Gateway, Milwaukee. It seems like if you choose to brake just a bit later or kind of forget to brake or like you will just lock up the car and just kind of travel out of the groove more so than what you would with the Gen 6 car. The Gen 6 car, you could really wheel hop really bad, wheel shake, wheel hop. The Gen 7 car, there's a lot of brake shake that can happen. Joe really wide again. He's coming to be put second lap down. So Joe was running pretty strong. He was almost inside the top 5, and then just good hard racing happened. No other really words to say but that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just nature of the beast.
Unfortunate.
Anyway, Will, we are to that point that we can do our favorite section, so we can get we can wet our tonsils and get ready to call the remainder of the race. So we will go to our crank it up section of the night and let you guys listen to the next gen cars around the Magic Mile. So enjoy. Anywho, 65
Yes,
laps.
indeed. 64 laps complete, Brian. And in the books, working lap 65. Brandon Moore has a second and might as well say almost a half second and a quarter lead. It's fluctuating. To second place man, Zach Deutscher at the moment. Tyler Myers, 6.25 seconds back in third position. He got past Skylar Sixton a while ago. Skylar in fourth position. JP working his way back into where he normally is, inside the top five. Fifth position. He is 8 seconds straight from the leaders. Justin Steves in sixth position. He is 9 seconds back from the race lead. Christopher Campbell, 9.5 seconds back in seventh position. Aaron Bradford inside the top 10 after seeing him do a spin a Rooney earlier. Dale Wonder Rap there in the 52 in ninth position, 15.5 seconds back from the race lead. Robert Amaro in the third, in the number 3 car in 10th position. He is 25 seconds and a quarter back. So Philip Bridgman, he is almost 26 seconds back in 11th position. And Pete Woodrum is 26.5 seconds back in 12th position, almost in the danger zone of going a lap down. He will be the first car in danger of going a lap down. So, you know, these guys can get around here in 29.5, 29, anywhere from 29, 29.5, 30, you know, depending on tire fall off, maybe a little bit longer, right? But it averaged 30 seconds, right, Brian? Let's just say. So,
Yes, sir. That's about the identical fall off. Well, about 31. There's a normal, faster pace lap is in the 30 seconds. So, besides, unless you're Zach and Brandon still putting down 30-second lap times. You see here lap traffic playing a big key here.
oh, a big key indeed. As Pete Woodrum, Philip Bridgman go a lap down. As we see the lap times here that you were showing, talking about, yes. Deutscher and Moore pretty much running the same lap time, if not a tenth, or thereabouts around each other. Myers, Sixton, Pearson, Steves, they're a few tenths off, but that's okay. We're closing in on 25 laps to go as well, Brian.
Yes, we are. Brandon setting the pace.
Nine cars currently on the lead lap. 18.5 seconds is the deficit in total to the ninth competitor. That would be Dale Rapp in the 52 machine. Love seeing Dale here.
See here, Skylar is still hanging on to that P4 with JP. Very close on him. Skylar keeps nicking that wall there at a 4. But JP isn't giving up easy, Will, as he looks to go to the inside of Skyler here. He'll pack that air on his left rear quarter. Maybe throw him off a little bit.
Well, JP's got to be careful because we saw how awry that went for him earlier with Joe.
Yes. So you want to be able to choose when you do it. You see here, 25 laps to go. Next week, they're going to be flinging dirt. That ought to be a doozy, huh? But caution laps will count.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes. Because if not, we're probably going to be there for quite a while.
Yes, indeed, we probably would be, so...
If we didn't. But caution laps are going to count, so... Skyler's still in fourth, Will, but JP is just trying to find where he can gather the run and pass Skyler. But Skyler's packing that dirty air on him, so JP is trying to finesse it a little bit and get out of it.
But it can be so difficult to do that, like we talked about. New Hampshire can be a difficult track to pass at. You almost have to, it can be another one of those driver's tracks where you almost have to wait for the competitor in front of you to kind of make a mistake, slip up, you know, things to that nature, so. As we have already seen in tonight's festivities.
Look at all this lap traffic.
Look at the lap traffic, 98 degree track temp at the moment, 76 degree ambient temperature.
It cooled down a lot. It went from 100 and I think 107. So.
Don't worry, iRacing, we can still see your watermark in our stream. It's not really all that covered up, so please don't worry about it. Don't get too don't get too aggro with us. Dell moving up to 8th position, taking that position away from Bradford. Bradford falling back 28 seconds now. He's the next car in the danger zone.
That he is.
Zach Deuscher, two seconds behind Brandon Moore. He's the closest competitor to him this evening at this moment, challenging him for this win, has to be said. Myers in 3rd position. He has a little bit of company, but Pearson is all over the back of his company with Sigston. So what a tussle we have going on for 3rd place. You know, Justin's right there too, if you think about it. He's an eye view of that tussle for 3rd position. So, oh my good golly, you know, four cars really fighting for 3rd position.
Yep. But now they are ever so slightly closing in on Tyler.
Zach is trying about every other lap, you know, to take a 10th here or there out of the lead of Brandon Moore. But every time he tries to do that, Brandon keeps trying to drive it back away, right? So Pearson and Skyler going at it side by side. Oh, I don't know if there was contact there or not, but what a great battle we have going on. As now Tyler Myers is loving it. He's now getting to drive away somewhat from this trio behind him.
Yep. But, Will, that is bringing Justin Steves even closer.
Indeed, Justin's right there. Ooh, JP gets a bit of a wiggle right in the bottom of the lane, and oh man, Skyler scrapes the wall on corner exit of turn number 2. I'm just wondering how many more laps they were going to be able to be side by side for, but it's not quite over. It's still present, clear and present. They have a second to make up on Tyler if they can in the closing 15 laps here. He's right there. But that battle, they just can't seem to, one over the other. It seems like Pearson really good there in turn 3 as Skyler's car walked up the track on him. I'm not saying Brandon has a comfortable lead either. He's still having to navigate some traffic here and there. He's currently working on AB. So AB's had a heck of a night, challenging night.
He is.
Heck of a race we've had, man.
Battles everywhere.
Battles, bit of chaos, drama.
Yeah.
Things that you just wasn't expecting maybe to see, but you did see it.
Here we go again.
AP gets by Skyler. Maybe now he might be able to run down Myers and take third away from Tyler. Maybe. Just maybe.
I think Tyler burnt his stuff up, Will.
Yeah, because he's kind of coming back into the clutches of JP and Skyler. Can they get to trademark? I mean, that's his initials.
Oh, I know.
I really like the blue that JP has on his car. It's a nice blue.
Right, isn't it? 10 laps
Yeah,
to go.
it's a lovely blue. Wonder trying to finish on the lead lap, but he's almost in the danger zone. Trying to find him. He's got a corner basically from him to Brandon, so I mean he might be able to finish on the lead lap here. As now it is Deutscher's turn to try to make it by Aaron Bradford here. AB only one lap down. He's the first car one lap down, so if, 2-letter word, big word, if caution does come out, he would get the lucky dog, so Philip Bridgman going a third lap down to the race leader Brandon Moore there, so that gap been fluctuating from a second and a half to 2 1/4, so it's just fluctuating back and forth now. from first and second. But great battle, I must say. Great rundowns all throughout the field. You have Myers now under pressure from JP and Skyler. Oh, they're getting by Tyler. So, yes, I do have to agree, Brian. He most definitely burnt his stuff up trying to run away and get away from the Marauders chasing after him, but just couldn't do it. He might even lose a position to Justin. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Justin's having a very good run.
Oh, he could get... I don't see... Like I said, I don't see why he couldn't take a top 5 here. How conservative and how, good Justin is about trying to conserve his stuff. I wonder how many more times I can say conservative. But, nevertheless, why don't we throw the lap time thingy back up there real quick before the end of the race, just to see where about maybe the lap times are at this moment.
JP and Skyler are running the same laps. Uh-oh.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
I can't tell who that is. Is that Anthony or is that... That is Anthony Lane indeed. Oh, man. Is that a caution or not?
No, he's down off the...
Man.
He's just going to park it there.
Well, I don't think the car will turn right. No, Skyler having a moment getting into turn 3. Did you see that slide?
I did.
The race is not over yet, Skyler. Don't be doing no drifting. You're not DK. Calm down. What a moment for Skyler there.
Oh, Brandon about Luther.
Now, finally getting to wonder here. If you could take the lap times back away, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Be gone with them. Interesting. Love to see it. Pearson and Brandon, they're running the same lap time. Deutscher's actually 0.3 quicker, but just can't seem to do anything with it, like he's just running out of time because he has driven a second.
Zach's got it down to about 0.9.
Well,
Rapp isn't going to give a... He's going to fight you for it.
this is the white flag, right? Or is it checkered?
No, they're coming to the white now.
Okay, white flag. Yeah, Wonder likes to try to finish on the lead lap. That is normally, as long as I've known Wonder, that's one of his goals. If he can, he's going to try to muster a lead lap finish. But I just think, even still, that's too far of a gap here at New Hampshire to overcome for the second place man, Zach Deutscher. Brandon Moore, dominant performance this evening here at Loudon, New Hampshire, going to take the victory here. Wonder will finish on the lead lap. He'll have to make another one. So great drive here for Dale. I think this is his debut in the Cup Series, ain't it?
Yes it is.
Yeah, lead lap finish, top 10 on debut. Brandon Moore, Zach Deutscher, Jason Pearson kind of snagging third away from Skyler. My goodness, try to pronounce all these S's, Willie, come on. So Tyler Myers held on to 5th position from Justin. Surprising, poor Justin couldn't. Come on, man. I know you could have done it. You could have done it. Christopher Campbell 7th. We already talked about Dell in 8th. So AB 9th. Robert Amaro 10th. Good top 10 for Robert after having that run-in with Pete. Hopefully they get all that straightened out. Phillip, 12th. Jimmy Hudson, 13th. Joe Stipe.
Joe Stipe, 14th.
Thank you. Random cough attack occurred suddenly out of nowhere. Anyway, asthma. So
I would
maybe
say
if Zach,
overall, very good race.
maybe if this was like a 120 lapper, like 125, 110, 115, some sketchy weird number like that, maybe Zach could have had something for Brandon there because yeah, you're right, he was chasing him down, just couldn't quite get to him. So Brandon Moore, Zach Deutscher, and JP will be our podium finishers. Brian will corral them into the pin here, and we will be right back and grabbing those podium finishers. Unless you just want me to keep on talking, I'll keep on talking, keep on keeping on.
No, you're good.
Next week, Bristol. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. If you want to say next week, go ahead.
Yeah, next week, Bristol Dirt. That is going to be one heck of a doozy. Probably the last season, too. Maybe. It's strong thinking from the season-making political committee, whatever we would like to call it here in the BNR Racing League, that makes the schedule. Me, myself, and I. I mean, what? Anywho, and some other fellow people of the BNR Racing League that help make the schedules right go round. It may be the final season of having Bristol Dirt, so all depends on how the race is going to go next week, right, Brian? So looking forward to it, nevertheless. Bristol Dirt. Jason Pearson, can't wait to talk to him tonight. JP, got a copy.
What's up,
Hey,
fellas?
dog.
Man, I think you ran Tyler scared because Tyler, you and Skyler went to battle and Tyler ran away. Then you passed Skyler, you ran Tyler down. Man, Tyler, Skyler, we're gonna go to a fucking. Excuse me, we're gonna go to a well with a bucket and we're gonna get some. Anyway, I mean we're just rhyming there with Skyler and Tyler. Anywho, sorry, tangent. Anywho, but man, I think you just scared him ragged because he ran off into the distance and ran his good years completely good, like all the way off. And you guys just ran. I thought Justin was going to get a top 5, but he couldn't get up. By anyway, we're talking about you, Jason. Man, tell us about your night. We saw you almost struggling. You almost went to the RV lot, but you found it back straight again. Tell us about New Hampshire and how tricky it is with these Gen 7 cars.
Yeah, it is tricky, man. It's really, really tricky. But yeah, I've almost lost it there quite a few times. One time I had to take the little infield road course there.
Yeah, you and Joe, you and Joe had an angle.
I don't know if I had pinched him real high in the wall or what. I apologize. I was trying to turn left as soon as I seen his car kind of rock just a little bit, but I guess he was already glued to my front end.
Yes, you guys already were getting into a tango there, and you went off-road excursion like you were doing the Baja 1000.
Then we got it under control, and then I finally got caught up there to Skyler. I was just kind of running them down one by one, just maintaining my car, make sure I didn't burn it off. And then Skyler, he really made me work for it. I mean, we had some good racing right there, side by side.
You got to watch out for him. He's a fighter.
And I finally got it past him, and I figured Tyler would be about the same way, but it seemed like as soon as I got to his bumper, he just went ahead and pulled over to the side.
You got to remember, Tyler, he wants you to think that he's going to be a struggle, but he's actually not because he's not. Anywho, Bristol Dirt's next week, Jason. What you thinking about that?
Well, I'm just now thinking about it, so
right?
Yeah, that's gonna be a doozy.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Hey,
Excellent.
Dogs like to play in dirt, so.
Right?
That's right.
Always
We'll
digging
him
it
out there
up.
somewhere.
Exactly. Excellent run tonight. Like I said, you went down as far as I think like 9th or 10th after a couple of different like times on cold tires coming out of turn 2. Just woohoo, having a bit of a moment. But like I said, you got it kept up, got it got it straight. I can't talk tonight apparently, but like I said, next week Bristol Dirt. Got any final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you'd like to add, Jason? After a heck of a race here this evening.
BNR, Broadcast Boo, appreciate everything that y'all do for us, giving us this opportunity to do this, put on a show for y'all. All the drivers, fun racing, man. Really a privilege week in and week out to be running with these guys. I think we'll be carrying the points lead into week 5, so we're carrying a little bit of momentum on our back. And Big Dogs Gaming, oof, oof, oof.
That's right. Oof, oof. Awesome job, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Next up.
Zach.
Hello.
Zach Attack in the house. So, maybe if this race was like 110, 115, 125, do you think he could have, like, you were really chasing down the deficit of Brandon there. It was really fluctuating from like 1.5 to like 2.25 there. Like, it almost felt like the lap traffic was almost helping you at times, in a way, like kind of depending who it is, right? But, New Hampshire, it's a tricky track to pass. You almost have to have the competitor make the mistake in front of you. We saw a couple of times on the restarts where you almost was able to take the lead away, but just couldn't quite do it. What more did you need, Zach?
10 to 5 laps, I could at least been in his back door. I noticed the last couple of laps I was closing, but I really think that has to do to lap traffic. Hitting me, those last 10 laps where our lap times are right on top of each other. How consistent both of us was. If I would have got to his butt, I think that's about as far as I go. He is just a fast driver. I give him applause for that win. He deserved it.
Yes, Brandon. Rhythm tracks is really Brandon's speciality. There's a lot of them out there in existence, and it's almost no surprise tonight. New Hampshire, very rhythmic track, and you and him definitely the cars to beat tonight. You guys were both class of the field, and congratulations on the podium run here tonight, Zach. First being our race and being our cup race back in almost a full year. So good to see you back over here on this side of things. And New Hampshire, man, this was a pretty, I thought from a spectator point of view, that it was a fun New Hampshire race. Only 4 cautions, and for how the cars handled and everything, there could have been more, but there wasn't. Tell us about it from your point of view, like how the car was handling and everything.
For the most part, actually, really well compared to qualifying and practice. I was surprised. The worst thing I noticed when the run is getting loose off exits, but you just manage your throttle, you can kind of adjust to it. But other than that, my car was on rails compared to was practice. I did not expect to be as high as I was in the positions here.
Yes, I mean, you've been really good, I would have to say, the past, like, whenever it come to, like, tracks that's not been 1.5 miles, like, say, I know on the SRU side of things in the past few weeks, like, whenever it's been Richmond, you were actually kind of decent at Richmond a few weeks ago, right? And where were we just a couple of other weeks ago? It was almost a short track, or it was you were up there.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but you've been really doing better with your short track game lately, or like your, I guess not quite intermediate, but might as well basically say short track game. Really turning that package around for you, because normally you were just like a top 10 driver on most of the short tracks, but now really being up here top 5, almost in the podium, if not fighting for wins, right? So you've been doing a lot of work. It looks like, or it seems like, right, Zach? And that's really key. Just trying to improve. You can be good at, say, your 2.5 or 1.5 miles, but you always want to be good everywhere you run, just not at a couple of tracks, right?
Yeah, I've been working a lot of everything lately, and the biggest thing is consistency and learning to adapt. That's the biggest thing I've been teaching myself. I can go from a terrible car in practice to race, and I could be up front to just all about adaptation to the race and kind of moving with the race and stuff like that.
adapting to the track conditions, how the track is either going to heat up or cool down throughout the race, is always key to do. And it does take a learning process, especially each track is going to be different too. Bristol Dirt is next week. If you're here next week for Bristol Dirt, what's the thought process for you going into a track or a situation like Bristol Dirt?
A little practice, sure, but I think we're a top 5 contender if I'm here. I like Bristol Dirt, so it should be a fun time.
Well, good to see you, Zach. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd love to give before we let you go celebrate this P2?
Man, everybody watching, I'm Brian for letting me join again. I really do appreciate it. You guys for broadcasting. Always fun listening to broadcast. Anything, I don't know. I can't think of anything else, but thank you guys.
Well, thank you, Zach, for talking to us. Congratulations tonight, and hopefully have a good night, bud.
You too.
Next
And
up,
now to the... Yes, indeed. Me and Brian, we love talking at the same time. Brandon Moore.
Mike
Brandon.
in the booth.
What's
No.
going on?
No, it's Dale Jr. tonight.
It's Dale Jr. tonight. Dale's in the booth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway,
Oh, Dale.
so yes, DJ. So, interesting race. It was kind of chaotic. It was kind of drama filled at times. It was
Wasn't it fun to watch though? I know it was fun driving.
I mean, I tell you, it was fun to watch as a spectator. Yes, as a driver, I'm glad I wasn't driving one of these cars here. I probably got frustrated.
That's great.
I don't know. Me and New Hampshire had a love-hate relationship in my sim amateur pro racing.
I told you though, we was gonna run good here though, didn't I?
Oh yeah, I mean, I pretty much had a feeling,
That's everywhere. But hey,
Yeah.
consistency's in your key, and rhythm tracks tend to fall in your hands. So
I really like the gray and white, like with the
That's a cool
green
car look,
meat.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I like that. It
He
almost
ran
looks
that
like
somewhere. I think it was like a 2011 scheme. I think's what the trading paint said. I saw that. I said, "This looks cool. We're gonna run this bitch." Pardon my French.
I think that's the signature. I think it's supposed to be the Talladega fan signature car. I think
the sugar-free amp was the primary sponsor.
I think it's like a one-off plate race where fans could. I think that's what it's supposed to be, but it's not quite 100%. But yes, the car pretty much for you looked like it was on rails, except for a couple of woo moments, right? But that happened to almost everybody. Everybody's going to have those moments.
Yeah, he
here
had a couple of
in
moments.
these cars. Yeah, but other than that,
overall, it was on rails. That thing was freaking great.
Yeah, you almost led every lap. If it wouldn't have been for Justin staying out under one caution, I think you probably would have led every lap just about. But yeah, just what I know Zach almost ran you down a couple of times. Was that just because of how difficult it was, kind of getting by the lap traffic, or what? What were you struggling with that was kind of allowing Zach to close in the deficit?
I just really trying to play it smart. Some of them lap cars I was able to get by pretty easy. The last lap car that I didn't pass there, he was just fast enough. I didn't want to risk it. I knew Zach was over a second back, and I was like, he ain't catching me even if I put this thing. So I said, I ain't gonna throw it in there and risk throwing this thing away. But not to take anything away from Zach though. Zach ran a phenomenal race. He was right on caliber of pace what I was running. Essentially, he did a really good job.
Yes, sir, indeed. It was a great show all night long. We had great battles all throughout the field, from first all the way just about down to last.
He kept me honest, because I was having to run it 10 tenths basically the whole time till the end of it.
Oh yeah, and you guys were basically spot on the same lap time every time we would go look at the lap times, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, it was a great race, I thought.
You look at the PBs here. You got me with a 30.671, and his was a 30.7. So,
exactly.
Within a tenth of each other. I mean, you could have been splitting hairs with it.
Bristol Dirt next week, Brandon. What's the thoughts? it's possibly, like I was telling Brian, maybe possible, the final season for Bristol Dirt being on a BNR schedule. So what's the thought process going into maybe the final Bristol Dirt for BNR?
No offense to Bristol Dirt, but offense to Bristol Dirt. I hate Bristol Dirt.
I hate it too.
Hold on, wait. You were just getting the handle of it last season, and you about almost won the daggone thing.
Nah, I'm no good there. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, hey, it's okay if he wants to pull a Jaden and keep saying that he sucks at places with wins.
I'll tell you where I'm good at, where I'm not good at. Bristol Dirt ain't it. I've not put the laps in to be good on dirt. If I end up towards the front, it's because people in front of me spun out.
I was always more of a pavement racer.
I'll be running Bristol Dirt like it's normal Bristol. I'll just be kind of cruising around, just I ain't going sideways. I can't do the dirt thing. I'll try. I'll give it my best shot for you boys. But usually we feel loads of confidence going in about every race, but not Bristol Dirt.
Right on. Saturday, it's probably going to be another good race. I'm trying to remember where we are for that one, but Nashville, huh?
Oh boy, yeah, we'll be all right there. I like Nashville. That'll be a fun track.
Maybe you can run one of those Elvis cars. Since it's...
I don't think there's an Elvis car though on the next gen. I know there was on the next gen.
We'll find the Rusty Wallace Elvis car. Oh well. Anywho, what else could we talk about before we let you go? I mean, you're the race winner. Just pretty much. This was actually, like I thought. Like I said earlier, this was a really good New Hampshire race. For it being New Hampshire, these cars being very finicky to drive at most tracks, and I thought it was a decently good race. Like I said, we had a bit of chaos, but that's to be expected. Like you said, Bristol Dirt, that's probably going to be a doozy. Almost expect the unexpected there, almost like tonight, really. But really, Brandon, anything else that we could maybe add, or I don't know, final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, we'll do from final thoughts. I'm about out of things to say, be honest. I know that's kind of uncharacteristic of me, but I'm about
right,
out.
We both, yeah, exactly.
We're usually cutting each other off and adding in, and don't know where to stop But yeah, we'll go
good
ahead and throw some good times. I enjoy it. That's why I come out here and try to drive as fast as I can, because I gotta be in the booth. We gotta have these conversations.
Right.
But,
he's right. I mean, it's.
This is why everybody comes out to watch anyway. They don't care about the race. They just will say, "What's Will and Brandon going to talk about?"
Pretty much.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, but anywho, shout out to all the people who come out to watch the stream. I appreciate everybody who took the time to watch. Thank the broadcast booth. Thank all the competitors for coming out to drive tonight. Congratulations to all the podium finishers. And we look forward to next week, and hope to put the Zero Sugar amp machine in the victory lane at Bristol Dirt. Probably won't happen, but we'll give it our best shot.
All right, Brandon. Well, thanks for talking to us tonight. Congratulations on the dub, man.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate y'all. Everybody have a good night, and we will catch you next week at Bristol Dirt.
Yes, sir. What a doozy of a race, that's for sure. Very good one, too.
Oh, yeah, what a humdinger of a race. This was like I said, we had chaos, we had drama, we had excitement, I'd have to say. We had great battles all around, all throughout the 100 laps. And it actually went the scheduled distance and didn't have to see those pesky overtimes that I just hate so much as just a fan. I get it as a purist, and got to see the race try to finish it out under green, and all those other good things. But there is also a scheduled distance we have to remind ourselves of. But also the fans. Anyway, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-lit candle, burning at both ends, waiting to be extinguished. So for that, we'd like to say thank you, each and every one of you. Also, the drivers coming out, participating in this race, in this series, in this league, and just all the fans coming out, all the driver interactions as well, before, after, during the race, what have you. Next week for the BNR Fixed Cup Series side of the thing on Thursdays, we've already talked about it enough, Bristol Dirt. Saturday, we will be at Nashville Superspeedway. That mile and a third track is sure to bring some decent action, especially on the restarts. I can't remember where the trucks are. Phoenix next week, I do believe, for the Tuesday night series. So, yes, indeed, AMS, I right off the top of my head. All-Star Race, North Wilkesboro. Yes, hey, I was getting there. But thanks for the reminder, Brian. Always love it. So, yes, indeed, like I said, thank you, each and every one of you coming out. We love the support, me and Brian. We truly do. We appreciate it. But until Monday, at North Wilkesboro for the AMS Cup Series, when you hear and see me and Brian again live, we want to wish each and every one of you a wonderful and safe good night.